Our next step in our discussion of investigating this idea of dimension is to look at the novel Flatland. So, I have a reading assignment for you. I'd like you to get the novel Flatland, which is in the public domain, and read that. It's written by Edwin A. Abbott. Edwin Abbott is actually his name. He lived in the Victorian era and was a school teacher. And what I'd like you to do then is, as you're reading this, answer the following set of questions. Um, we're reading this novel primarily for its mathematical content, which is timeless. However, note that this was written in England during the Victorian era and it's very dated in some other ways. The novel uses satire to criticize the class system of the day. In addition, it is also satirizing the social standing of women in that society. If we were rewriting this today, we would definitely change some of the material to make it less sexist. So I ask you to overlook that and focus on the mathematical content. The questions of the Flatland assignment I'm going to give you here really, I don't think are spoilers. You can look at these questions before you read the novel, and as you're reading it, go back and answer these questions as you're going along. So here are a few questions. Briefly describe the people in Flatland. What does the social structure of Flatland reflect? Or how does it reflect the English Victorian era in which the book was written? How does the book use satire to criticize this social structure? Number two, the protagonist, A Square, visits two worlds of lower dimension. Describe the inhabitants of these worlds and A Square's interaction with them. In particular, comment on the difficulties that they have with understanding the nature of two dimensions and A Square's difficulties in interacting with them. Number three, describe the nature of vision in 0, 1, 2, and 3 dimensions. In particular, what do the Flatlanders uh, actually see, and how do they distinguish other two-dimensional objects visually? Compare this with how we see. What do we Spacelanders actually see? And how do we distinguish other three-dimensional objects visually? When the sphere removes A Square from Flatland, A Square's vision is extended to be similar to that of the spheres, and he discovers firsthand the existence of three dimensions. How does this experience affect A Square? What insight does A Square have that is rejected by the sphere, but is first articulated by A Square's grandson? What is the behavior of A Square after returning to Flatland from Spaceland, and what is the reaction of the population of Flatland? And finally, in what ways does this novel assist with the ideas of geometry and how they relate to our own world? In what ways does the novel help open the mind of the reader to different interpretations of reality?